anywhere in radio and internet land. It is I, the Mystic, coming to you live from WNJC, 1360 AM, Washington Township. Folks, the very first show of 2009. You know what that means, don't you? Yes, tonight we will be revealing my prophecies for 2009, folks. I'm very, very excited. You know, we do this every single year. The very first show of each year, I reveal several predictions that I make, and, of course, at the end of the year, we review them. However, last week I was very, very sick. I don't know if you guys have caught that flu bug. It's like a stomach virus thing going on. It is bad out there, folks. A lot of people are getting it, so, you know, try to isolate yourselves. And if you do get it, pray for a quick death, I'll tell you, because it was just awful. It was just terrible. But I'm back in the saddle again, folks. I am here live. So what we will do, we will, of course, take a couple of your calls very quickly, and then we will go ahead with my 2008 in review, okay? And then we will go immediately into the prophecies of 2009, which I just picked up a mere half hour ago. So very, very excited to reveal those to you. Okay, also I want to announce very quickly that this coming Thursday, folks, I will be appearing live at Dempster's Sports Bar and Restaurant, Mount Holly, New Jersey. I will be there from 7 to 10 p.m. You guys can come on in, get anything you want off the menu, and you get an absolutely free psychic reading with me. Now, that's in Mount Holly, New Jersey. And, again, I'll be there from 7 to 10 every Thursday. So come on out and see me, okay? Other than that, I think, you know, we've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. Now, you guys can give us a call at 856-227-1360 and 856-232-7077, and you give us a call and you get a free psychic reading with me. God willing, you get through. I know it's busy out there. Now, I do believe we have a caller on the line, so let's go ahead and take that caller now, shall we? We shall. Let's do that. Caller, you are live. Good evening. Are you there, caller? Oh, caller. Caller going once. Caller going twice. Okay, I think we may have lost that one. Those of you that are, you know, by all means, keep trying out there, those of you that are calling in. In the meantime, though, since we did lose that caller, I guess, what we will do is let's go ahead and hit that review. Now, these are the prophecies that I made last year around the same time, folks. The very first show of January, I came out with several predictions that I felt was going to occur before December 31st of this year, okay? Now, the very first one was that the west coast of the United States would be hit by a sizable quake. Now, a strong quake did hit Southern California on July 29th, 2008, and it wasn't a large quake as far as, you know, buildings being knocked over and the whole bit, but that's not what I said. I said it was a strong quake. And sure enough, this thing shook from L.A. to San Diego, and it was even felt as far away as Las Vegas. So, you know, that was a pretty sizable quake. But, yeah, that was a big one, and thank God nobody got hurt. I don't even think there was any buildings that were damaged or anything like that, but, you know, it was felt, you know, in a very large area. But, wow, thank God no one was hurt. So, God bless. Now, a second one was that a royal family would be hit with tragedy in 2008. And sure enough, we ended up losing, some of you know her. Her name's Countess Sonia Anita Maria Bernadotte. I hope I have that pronounced correct. And whom she was the widow of Count Lenart. And what this guy did was he was all about gifted programs and working with kids to, you know, become like future scientists and researchers and things like that. It was almost like one of the largest gifted programs out there. And these people ran it. And even though, you know, they were royalty in the whole bit, the Count died in 2004, and the Countess, she inherited all this stuff, including the Nobel laureate meetings, which is in, I think it's in Landau. But anyways, these Nobel Prize winners, they actually come to this place and talk to young people about, researching and I just think that's really, really cool because we really need to have a lot more respect and a lot more care and nurturing for gifted programs and gifted students. I'm a firm believer in that, firm believer in educating the children. It's a really, really big deal. So, I love those guys for that. And we lost her this year. She died of breast cancer in Germany at the age of 64. Now, the very next prophecy that I revealed for 2008 was that Israel would launch a sizable attack on a nuclear facility this year. Now, they did, in fact, do this earlier this year, but it was just an exercise. They took off and they did their whole thing, and it was the exact opposite direction of if they were to go in and take out Iran's nuclear facility. And, folks, let me tell you, it was a pretty massive show of force. Israel had every single plane in the air, every bomber, every fighter, and it was a pretty spectacular display of force. It was very, eye-opening to that whole region over there, I think. But meanwhile, at the end of the year, they did have a very large-scale attack on Gaza. And they're in the process of, doing that mess right now. So, wow, it's pretty, intense going on over there. And I have a feeling there's a lot more to come as far as Israel and Gaza and Iran and that whole Middle Eastern region. I really, really feel that this whole thing is going to go downhill very quickly over there. Now, but we'll talk about that in another show. Now, another quick prophecy that I had here was a very incredible find in Egypt near the Valley of the Kings. And sure enough, folks, a team of Egyptian archaeologists discovered several painted wooden coffins in the burial grounds just south of Cairo, including some dating back to the 13th century BC. Now, that's 1,300 years, before Christ. Wow. So, this is some pretty serious stuff. The coffins were found in the tombs of senior officials of the 18th and 19th dynasties. Some colored, unopened coffins dating back to the 6th century were found, and these are all BC, by the way. So, wow, this is some really serious stuff. And they just uncovered recently, right towards the end of the year, was a vast cemetery. And they're saying that this is going to be yielding so many new artifacts and the whole bit that is just going to be amazing. Now, this was a big one, I'm telling you. They're going to find more out there. And one of them is going to include another person that is considered an antichrist. They're going to find some kind of a parchment or some kind of a thing on that. And remember, I told you that. I don't think it's going to be this year, but they will find one there. Now, the next one was more terrible weather for Indonesia. Now, as you guys recall, a couple years back, I did predict that in Southeast Asia there was going to be a large earthquake and a flood to follow, and sure enough, we had that big tsunami down there, right? And that was right around Christmas. Last year, 2008, landslides killed 10 people on November 14th. A 7.7 earthquake struck over there. A flood that hit the East Kalimantan province went down over there, and it spread to 6 different villages. So that was, some really seriously bad stuff. They had the floods, they had landslides, they had earthquakes, they had, just, gosh, it's like, wow, those people are really in bad shape over there. It's a real shame. Now, the next one was coming back to Israel, folks, and this one was basically that Israel will be hit by terrorist suicide bombers, which, they're getting hit with a lot of rockets, but they don't really get hit with suicide bombers as much. But recently, in fact, 2 of them did manage to get through security, one of which was a suicide bombing in the southern town of Dimona, which is the first such attack in over a year. The attack detonated an explosives belt at a shopping center, and the police shot dead an accomplice, which was about to detonate his belt, and they killed him. So, wow, it was pretty close. But, so two people managed to get through and were going to blow themselves up. One of them did, and the other one didn't get a chance to before Israeli forces got him. So, whew, there you go. Now, the next one, number 7, was that an international icon would be arrested for murder. And, folks, I don't know if you know this guy, but we got a guy up here. He's the former head of the Gambino family, and his name is John Gotti. And this guy's known all over the world for doing all kinds of murders and racketeering, and he's like a mob guy, really big mafia guy. And he's in New York, and now he's being tried again for murder charges after managing to escape a couple different times. In fact, they even call him the Teflon Don because the guy just can't get hit. So, now he's up for a third trial, and he even asked if he could get the same judge that he got before, because the last 2 times he got a mistrial by that judge. So he's like kind of begging, hey, hook me up with this guy. So there you have it. So now he's under the gun. Now the last one here, also pretty scary, was that Japan will be giving great consideration as far as the ties to the U.S. And what happened here was, as you guys know, we had this really bad economic crisis right in the beginning, middle of the year here. And it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. People losing jobs left and right. Industries are closing. We got this bailout thing. We got this, Madoff guy, causing fraud to everyone and everybody around him. And it was just a really bad time for the economy. Well, this is here in America, but let me tell you, folks, this was a global matter. And one of the big ones that got hit was, in fact, it was Japan. And according to a poll there, only a third of the Japanese think the ties with the United States are in good shape, which means 2/3 of Japan are like, we're not sure if this is such a hot idea or not, being as close as they are with us. And they've been that way since World War II, but, they don't seem to have that same oomph about us as, they used to. So, I definitely think it would be a good idea if we start, working on ties with them as soon as possible. And a lot of other people do, too. So I think that is pretty much it, my brothers and sisters. So, wow, we got 8 out of 8 this year. And I'll tell you, 2009 is pretty spooky. I got to tell you that. And we'll be talking about that here a little bit later on in the hour, okay? We'll go ahead and reveal 2009 for you. But, we got 8 out of 8 this year, folks. I'm not proud of it. It's just what I saw, and thank God that there wasn't, more horrible things out there. Death is always a horrible thing to see. And the biggest one, if you guys recall, was when I predicted that tsunami. That's one of the only prophecies since I've been doing this show where I actually said thousands and thousands and thousands will die. And sure enough, when that went down, it was just, a really horrible thing. But, it wasn't so bad this year, especially here in America. It was, we got through a year of some pretty crazy stuff, my brothers and sisters, and you guys rode out with me, and a lot of people lost their homes, a lot of people lost their jobs, and it's still bad out there. And I don't think that this year is going to be much better, in that respect, because it's going to take a while for all of us to heal from all this mess. There's no question about that. Okay? So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to commercial really, really quickly. And when we come back, we'll have some absolutely free psychic readings with the mystic, and then we'll reveal our prophecies for 2009. So why don't you guys stick around, okay?
affordable ticket prices, intimate seating in a historical building, and plenty of free parking. Conveniently located in downtown Woodbury, a few blocks from Route 45 on the corner of Glover and Logan Streets. We're celebrating the 73rd consecutive season, bringing you the best in theater and live entertainment. For performance dates and times, call our 24-hour hotline at 856-848-8089. Performances run from Thursday to Saturday evening and a Sunday matinee at 2 p.m. Sketch Club is a non-profit community theater, the oldest running in South Jersey, and we're always looking for volunteers, actors, set builders, writers, and more. All creative minds are welcomed at the Sketch Club. Call us at 856-848-8089 or check us out on the web at www.sketchclub.net. Come and experience live theater with us, Sketch Club players. That number again is 856-848-8089.
Howdy, boy.
Hi, Grandpa.
What's the matter?
My girl's such a pain. She's got all this stuff to do before the wedding, and she's put me in charge of getting the wedding invitations printed. I don't know about any of this stuff.
You need copies and more.
Tell me about it. I also have to get all the flyers for the softball game this Saturday done.
Yep, you need copies and more.
Yes, I heard you. And what's more, I have to get print-ups of this year's quarterly at my firm. There's no way I'm going to have it all ready. What am I going to do?
You need copies and more.
I know I need copies and more. I'm not an idiot.
Sure you are. Copies and More is the one-stop shop for all your printing needs. Flyers, invitations, presentations, even posters and magnets. Everything can be done at Copies and More. Good prices, too. Give them a call at 856-845-6770. They'll take good care of you over there.
Thanks, I will.
Now don't forget that's Copies and More at 240 South Broadway in Woodbury, New Jersey at 856-845-6770.
Thanks, Copies and More. And here I thought you were repeating yourself because you were losing it.
No, I ain't the one who got stuck doing wedding invitations.
Grandpa, that's Copies and More at 856-845-6770.
Do you have a product or service that you want advertised on the Mystic Hour? Call 856-803-4463. Advertising is important to any business, and the Mystic Hour reaches thousands of homes throughout the Delaware Valley. What's more, as a sponsor, you're providing free advice on the Mystic Hour, as well as the availability of your service or product. Call 856-803-4463 for details. We've been in business in the Delaware Valley for almost 8 years and know how to promote your business. We'll help you write a script and record the commercial together, and we'll have come up with the best solution for your business. Call 856-803-4463 for details, and we'll look forward to promoting you. And that number again is 856-803-4463.
Hi, I'm the Mystic, and as a psychic advisor, it's my job to assist you in all phases of life. Many couples come to me to give them insight on how to become better, closer couples, how to avoid the relationship ruts so many fall prey to. The answer is bliss. Bliss is quite simply a game for loving. At www.gamesforloving.com, you'll find Bliss is the perfect game for an intimate couple. Whether you're looking to add more spice to a long-lasting relationship, or if you're trying to get to know and enjoy your new partner together, this game is for you. Completely customizable, gamesforloving.com provides you with what you consider to be your perfect intimate experience. Your mood, your pace, your desires, all customizable. Bliss is a game based on intimacy, not just sex. Explore each other's feelings as well as bodies. There's even an add-on pack designed especially for Christians. Go to www.gamesforloving.com and check out their demo, and you'll see quickly that no couple can be truly happy without bliss. Remember, that's gamesforloving.com.
And we are back here on the Mystic Hour, Tri-State area and the world. We call in live psychic talk show. I, of course, am your host, the Mystic, professional psychic of 15 years, here to assist you in all matters of love, life, health, success, and destiny, folks. Absolutely. Folks, special edition. First show of the new year. 2009 is upon us. You got to love it, right? Okay, so what we're going to do, we do have callers on the line, so what we're going to do, we are going to take some of these lucky callers, and see if we can't knock out a little bit of Destiny before we get to the prophecies of 2009, okay? Is that cool? Let's do that. So let's take one of those lucky callers now. Caller, you are live. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. Your name?
It's Ted.
Ted. And where are you calling from, Ted?
I'm in Texas tonight.
Hey, wow, Texas. Great to hear from you, my brother. Always a pleasure. So this is Trucker Ted.
Yep.
Fantastic. So, how can I help you, bro?
Well, last time I called the show, I asked you if I was going to meet anybody new or, as far as, like, a love life goes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you didn't have enough time in the show, so.
Oh, right, that's right. You called, like, we had like 5 minutes in the show.
Yeah.
As I recall. Okay, yes, I do recall now. So, so you want to know about your love life?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Stand by, Ted, and we shall see what we shall see, my brother. Okay. It's always great to hear from you, by the way. Okay. Wow, one of the first things that I'm seeing here, and this is dealing with your present position, is that, Ted, it does seem like you're a little less stressed out right now. It seems like you're a little more carefree and you're a little more focused on what you're doing. And this is great, but, whenever you get like that, you tend to work yourself to death, my brother. You know what I mean? You tend to work while the going's good. And this is great, but it doesn't do much for your personal life. So, if you want a personal life at this point, my suggestion to you, my brother, is you're going to have to make some time for it. And that's something you don't really like to do very often.
Yeah.
So, you're definitely going to have to make some time in order to make that happen. But, right now, Ted, again, I would get it while the going's good, my brother. I really would. You're in a position right now where you can, get a little bit more success here. So I really think that's what your hammer is going to be on, Now, another thing that I'm seeing here, too, and this is dealing a little more with some of your surrounding issues, too, is, I do see a bit of a spiritual journey that's in the works for you right now. So, you got to keep your eyes open for that, because there's usually love in the air shortly after something like that goes on. You know what I mean? Like a self-improvement thing. That's usually a good time for love to be in the air. So, again, you're going to have to make some time in order to make this happen, though, brother. This is your biggest enemy. It's time. Because you got a couple bucks, you're a good-looking guy, you got a couple different things going on. You cleaned up your act a lot. So, I definitely think you're focused. I definitely think you're ready for that sort of thing now. But again, time is of the essence. You understand? You with me?
Yeah, I understand.
Fantastic. But yeah, that's your only enemy right here, Ted, is time. And time for you is money.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Well, with that thing you were talking about the last time I called, that I actually talked to you when I called the show, you said something about there was something in the works at my job. And if that actually does go through, I will have a lot more time.
See, that'll be great for you, man. Because, this is the key with you, is you're a hard worker. And that's great. And that makes you a great catch. If they can catch you.
Yeah.
They have to catch you, Ted. But it's hard to do. It's hard to do when, you're running like a, crazy person when you're chasing that dollar right now. And the going's good for you. The fuel prices are down a little bit right now. They've actually gone up in the past few days. But at the moment, they're down. And, as a trucker, that's got to be great for you. Bottom line, right?
Well, with the deal that I got here, the fuel prices don't really affect me any because I pay, like I said, I pay a flat rate for my fuel. So no matter how high it goes, I just still pay my same thing, and they reimburse me for it.
Yeah, but if it gets too high, guess what? They're going to have to cut somebody.
Yeah.
So this is what you got to look at it, man. And guess what? You're the new guy on the totem pole, so you'd probably be one of the first to go. So, you need to be thankful of this, my brother, and you need to take advantage of it while you can, and I understand all that. But, you know, if you want a personal relationship, man, you got to start looking. But, you know, don't look in the places that you used to, my brother.
Yeah, I know.
That's not going to get you anywhere. You know, it's a momentary good time, yes, and then that's the end of it. You know, anything after that, you're being taken advantage of. That, right? So, you know. But I'll tell you something else, too. And this is dealing with, you know, some of this future you have going on. You know, you are a great catch, Dad, and you do need somebody a little more respectable. You need somebody that's going to be able to respect what you do, you know. So my suggestion to you is don't look in the obvious places like, you know, some place where you would think you'd find trucker ladies or you know, something of the like. You need to find somebody smart.
Yeah.
That can back you up. So go to smart places and hang out. Go get yourself a nice cup of coffee and go hang out at Barnes & Noble. Not a diner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is what you need to do, brother. You do this, man, and I'm telling you, you'll find a much better quality girl. You will. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. All you classy ladies, you know you love hanging out at Barnes & Noble. You know, but it's good stuff, man. You know, you need somebody educated. You need somebody smarter than you. That's what you need. You understand that?
That could be a little scary.
Smarter than you, brother, because this way they can back you up. And if you have somebody smarter than you and loyal to you too, you'll be in great shape, my brother.
Well, that's going to be a hard catch.
Not necessarily, man. There's a lot of smart women out there, especially nowadays. Now that we let them, you know what I mean. And women, I don't want any letters from this. You know what I'm talking about. It used to not be that way. Now it is, which is wonderful. I think, you know, there's some very smart women out there. But, you know, there's absolutely some brilliant women out there, and I think that's great. And even now in some Middle Eastern countries, they're allowing women to, you know, go to school now and stuff like that, which I think is also awesome because they deserve it. So please, no letters. Now, so back to you, Ted. Yes, the whole deal here, though, brother, is time, man. You need time. You know, you need to make time for this. If you don't make time for it, bro, you're not going to get anywhere with it, okay?
Do you still see that happening, though, with the thing with work?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Well, now that the holidays are done, it's probably a lot closer, too.
Oh, you know what? I'll tell you, you know, everybody's getting back on the ball, which is great. It's great. But, you know, I wish I could say it's going to fix the economy. It's not. It's not. Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. You know, this is going to be a Band-Aid that's going to take a little while to take off. It really is, man. And that's a shame, but it is. It's just going to be a little longer than we want it to or than we hope. I really believe that. So, you know, take advantage of this while the gas prices are down because I do believe they're going to go back up very quickly, Ted.
Okay.
I really believe that. The prices are going to go up again very quickly. So take advantage of it while you can. All right?
Okay. What area of the country do you see me meeting this girl?
I actually feel it's going to be south. Probably Florida, Georgia. You're going to be busy down there, I have a feeling. Yep, the South you're going to be busy with this year. I really feel that.
Yeah, because my driver manager that I work with and me, we're trying to figure something out that's going to work for both of us, you know. Because, I mean, I've been covering everything he needs me to cover, and I can just been kind of flip-flopping around and not really working for me.
Right. I understand. Well, I'll tell you, though, Ted, you know, again, I think you better take advantage of this while the getting's good, brother. Because
as far as work goes?
Yeah, I really don't think it's going to get much better. Not for a while. And that goes for all of you out there. All of you that are working out there. All of you that, you know, have managed to save your homes in one way or the other. You know, be thankful. Be very, very thankful because I don't think it's going to get much better right now. So remember this always. Okay, my brother? You know, you're in a position right now, you can do what you want, but, you know, right now I really think you should hunt for that money. Take advantage of it while it's good, bro. All right?
All right.
You do this, man. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did. All right, brother?
Okay.
Right on. Ted, it's always a pleasure to hear from you, my brother, all the way out there in Texas. My goodness. You know, speaking of Texas, I got some news later on, so, you know, if you get a chance, if you're still listening, Ted, and you can tune in, by all means, stay tuned, will you?
Okay.
Right on, brother. Hey, you be safe, and, of course, God bless you and your entire family, and Happy New Year, man.
You too. Thank you.
Right on. God bless. Take care.
Bye.
Okay, folks. Wow, that was Ted. Wow, he's actually in Texas. He usually doesn't call that far west, so it's really great to hear from him. Folks, you're listening to the Mystic Hour Tri-State Area and the world's free call-in live psychic talk show here on WNJC 1360 AM. We do have another caller on the line, and let me give you those call numbers again. You guys can give us a call at 856-227-1360 and 856-232-7077. Give us a call and get an absolutely free psychic reading with me, my brothers and sisters. Karen, do we still have that other caller or no? The lovely Karen, folks. I think she's busy with one of the callers right now. Okay, so what are we doing here, Karen? Are we switching? I think we've lost her. Oh, Karen. Yeah, she must be on the line with another caller. Okay, so you guys can give us a call at 856-227-1360 and 856-232-7077. Give us a call and get an absolutely free. There's Karen. Karen, are you there? Do we have... Okay, so we do have that other caller. Great. Well, let's go ahead and take that one then. Caller, you are live. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. There you are.
Hi, how are you?
I am absolutely fantastic. First off, your name?
Michelle.
Michelle, where are you calling from?
New Jersey.
What part?
Westville.
Oh, lovely. Great to hear from you. You're just right down the street from us.
Yeah, actually, I called you a couple days ago.
There you go. So, how can I help you this fine evening?
Well, I was actually calling and going to ask you another question, but my neighbor came down. She just seen something on the news that she's very upset about, and so I'd rather ask about this. It's about the volcanoes.
Yes.
In Yellowstone Park, I think she said.
Yes.
She's very upset about this. Could you tell me anything that's, like, what you see, what could be going on?
Sure.
I mean...
what's going on there is, you know, all of those geysers, including Old Faithful, and all those geysers, that's all volcanic activity that's going on underneath the earth.
Uh-huh.
You with me so far?
Yeah.
Well, what's happening here is the whole place is like a very, very, very large volcano.
Right.
A very large one. One big enough that if it was to erupt, you know, you've probably seen the stuff on the History Channel. They talk about this stuff a lot right now.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, if something like this was to erupt, that, you know, it could pretty much kill off most of the crops here in the United States.
Right.
Just, you know, that quickly.
Right.
You know, yeah, it's a problem. Uh-huh. It absolutely is a problem. Now, do I see it going up this year? No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I don't sense that. Now, I will tell you that I do see a lot of seismic activity this year. I don't think it's going to be the big supervolcano thing in Yellowstone, but I do see a lot of seismic activity this coming year. We'll talk about that when I do my prophecies for 2009, but that is actually one of them, is a very dramatic increase in seismic activity all over the world, not just one place, all over the world.
Okay.
So, be ready for that. But, yeah, it is kind of a scary thing, but I don't sense the big one coming this year, no.
Okay.
Nope. So, fear not.
Yeah, because she was very, very upset about that. She is asking me if you can see when it could be happening. Because a lot of people, she works at a restaurant, and a lot of people are saying it's going to be 2012.
Okay. Well, see, there is a big stink about 2012 right now.
Right.
All right. And the reason why is because there's actually several prophecies throughout the world that have been given with a specific date, which was December 21st, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
This includes, prophecies from people that have had absolutely no contact with each other, not just person to person, but civilization to civilization. Like there's no way they've ever had any contact with each other, and yet they all came up with the same date.
Right.
December 21st, 2012. Now, I do believe that there is, some significance to that date, absolutely. But I believe that the changes that we're experiencing, or we're supposed to experience, I think we're experiencing now. I really do. I think we've been, going through this, since before the year 2000, actually, just before. But, this is a cycle. This is a process. And I do believe that this process occurs about every 12,000 years or so. And there's a lot of evidence that supports that, including, some rock formations and the blue holes of Bimini and all kinds of really great stuff. But it's a pretty amazing thing. But my point is we've been around a lot longer than 12,000 years.
Right.
And we're going to be around a lot longer. Okay?
Right.
So, even in 2012, I don't think this is the end of the world here. I do believe that we are going to go through some pretty dramatic changes, including on that date, which is very interesting, and this is something that, again, there's no way any of these civilizations could have possibly known. But on that date, December 21st, 2012, even astronomically, not astrologically, but astronomically, there is an event that's going to be going down right at that time. And what's going to happen is how can I put this without showing you guys? The location that we're in our galaxy is actually going to change on that date.
Okay.
Where we're going to be from the top side of the coin, we're going to be down on the bottom side of that coin. And it may cause some magnetic interference. Don't really know.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to kill us. Okay?
Okay.
In fact, I feel it's actually going to do just the opposite eventually. I truly believe that once this shift comes, a lot of the things are going to be as they were 12,000 years ago. One of these things is the fact that, according to prophecy and according to the Bible and the whole bit, there were people that were living at the time several hundred years. And there is some speculation to that, but there's also proof that actually, this could happen again, like somehow during that shift of Noah and the whole bit, that it actually changed their DNA structure so that they only lived 120 years from that point on.
Right.
But there's a lot of things that are supposed to happen that's going to resort us back to that time, including some astronomical stuff, some astrological stuff. Again, the floods, the earthquakes, the whole bit, just as it was before. So, it's definitely going to be again. Definitely going to be again. But, time will tell.
Right.
But, I do think that, 2012 will have some significance. Definitely. But, I don't think it's the end of things. I just think it's the end of a cycle here.
Okay.
And, I do think even Nostradamus has predictions in the year 3000.
Right.
He does. So, don't sweat it. But my suggestion to you, if you're that concerned with it, understand that, first off, even knowing what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, it's not going to stop it from happening.
Right.
So the only thing that you and your friend can do is to prepare for what's to come, not freak out over it.
Right.
Again, learn how to grow vegetables. Learn how to grow stuff. Learn how to, preserve stuff. Learn how to do your own thing on your own terms, because that's what it's going to be. Learn how to protect yourself, one form or another. I'm not saying go out and buy a gun, but learn how to protect yourself. Just in case it's everybody for themselves, you'll be ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll be able to, when you find out that there's, no more fuel, and which means no more trucks bringing groceries to any more stores, you'll be okay. You'll just go to your garden, pick your little salad and veggies for the evening, and ride out.
Right. Yeah, because she's, like I said, she's very upset about it because she has a young daughter, and she's worried that her daughter will not be able to grow up. It's like the end of the world.
Well,
I mean,
I hear you.
Right.
As someone who has children myself, I understand, where she's coming from with that. But again, my daughter's 3, and already she's, being taught to be prepared.
Right.
She knows what to do. She doesn't talk to strangers. She doesn't,
Right.
She knows all the rules.
Right.
And that's really what it's all about. That's the only thing we can do, is prepare for it. We can't fix it. We can't stop it. You think we can stop what's going on in the Middle East? I got news for you. We have a new president, and that's great, but, he's not a magician. He's not a messiah.
Right.
He's not going to be able to wave his hand and fix everything.
Right.
Change or no change.
Right, yeah.
So, all we can do, no one's going to be able to stop this. Nobody's going to come up with a solution to where, everybody's going to be happy. These people want to live in peace. The other people want to, wipe them off the face of the earth and yada, yada, yada. And, it's just a big, ugly mess over there. No one's going to be able to stop that. No one.
Yeah.
The only way you can stop it is to ban all religion whatsoever. That's the only way. And, you can't do that.
I agree with you there.
But that's the only way.
Right.
No,
and
then
I totally
once
agree.
they're banned completely, then you re-educate them.
Mm-hmm.
And then reintroduce them into a religion of love. Whether, no matter who they're worshiping, no matter what label they want to give it, no matter what name they want to call God that day.
Exactly.
As long as it's, a religion of love, why can't it be that way?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all supposed to be about, is a religion. Religion is, and God is all supposed to be, it's all about love.
Yep.
And yet, it causes more wars than any other topic.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with you on that.
Sad.
Totally agree.
I'm rambling. But you asked.
I'm sorry.
You asked. You asked. This is what I think. This is what I think. But, again, as long as we're prepared for that, and folks, as long as you keep tuning into this show, I will teach you how to be prepared. That I can promise you. Again, just like, Christmas time, throw some seeds into your stockings this year. Teach your kids, teach your neighbors, teach your friends, an incentive to learn how to grow things, because that's something you're going to need to know. You're going to need to know. You don't have to necessarily learn how to kill it and clean a chicken, but you need to learn how to grow your own stuff. It's important. Even if it's just a small little garden, in your backyard. I'm telling you, you can, sustain yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the important gig here. So, stuff you got to learn. Learn to walk instead of take your car everywhere. It's important. These are just 2 simple things we can do to prepare for what's to come. because, I do. Eventually, I do see it getting worse here as far as the law is concerned. I think we're going to have a lot less law as the years get closer to 2012. I will tell you that much. I do. But at the same time, I don't know what caused it. And it could very well be, a revolution against the government or any, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But something causes it. That I can tell you. My hypothetical, my guess, is lack of food, to be perfectly honest, which, again, all comes back to growing your own stuff. More people need to do it. So, I think that's going to be the big one, folks, is lack of food, because I do think that, again, in 2009, I think we are going to see more devastated crops this year in one form or another. So, again, something we need to prepare for, all right? But that's what I see for you there, my dear. I'll tell you, I understand your friend's concern, but, the concern isn't going to get the job done.
Right.
Because it's just words. You need some action here. So the only action that you can take, obviously, you can't fix it, you can't change it. So the only action that you can take is to prepare for it, is to fix you, is to change you, and prepare yourself for what's to come. Okay. That's what I'm doing. And I'm teaching you guys how to do it too, because it's important. It's the only thing we can do. All the prayers in the world, believe me, God hears every single one of them. But I don't care how good you are. I don't care how articulate you are. I don't care how many pretty pleases with sugar on top you put on it. He's not going to change his mind on this. What's to come is meant to be. And there's no prayer with all the sugar on top in the world that is going to change what's to come. You understand?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I understand.
That's the deal. That's the deal right there. And, no one can change it. No one. All we can do is change ourselves and prepare ourselves. Okay? Mm-hmm. So that would be my suggestion to you and your friend and her daughter. Do it together. You guys start a little garden together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Have her and her daughter start that garden together, and work it. And it's a fun project. Believe me, going out there and picking your own veggies and making yourself a nice little salad or whatever, or having potatoes that night that came out of your garden. It's a beautiful thing. It is. It's awesome. So that would be my suggestion there. Okay, Dom?
Thank you.
Oh, my most humble pleasure to serve, Michelle. And, of course, just remember, all I ask in return is that you do tell a friend about the show so that maybe they, too, can call and get a free psychic reading. Or if they have a spiritual question of any kind, they're more than welcome to give us a call, yeah?
Right. Well, she's listening, actually, right now. I think she's calmed down a bit. But
Great.
we'll probably be calling to see about booking a psychic reading. I seen it on your website.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, you can give us a call at, let's see, where is that number? 856-803-4463. And that goes for all of you out there. You guys can give us a call, book your reading at 856-803-4463. It's a private reading. It's $60. We cover everything under the sun that way, and it's a good time. Get 8 or more, I'll come to you guys. It's also a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right,
hey,
thank you.
Again, thank you so much for calling the show. Happy New Year, and God bless you and your entire family.
And you the same.
Take care. God
Bye-bye.
bless. Bye-bye. Sure, we got time for one more quick one, and then we'll go ahead and get to these prophecies very, very quickly. How about that? Right on. Caller, you are live. Good evening.
Hello, this is Heather from Indiana.
Hi, Heather from Indiana. Great to hear from you.
You too.
And how can I help you this fine evening?
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
If you could, I'll do it real quick. I wonder if my ex-boyfriend, right? I don't know if you can tell me. If we're going to get back together.
Okay.
Or, I'll just tell you real quick, before you get into anything, yeah. or for the New Year's, if I'm going to find a new one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, really, basically, your question is about your love life.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
So let's do that. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay? Right on. So, Heather, what I need you to do is just focus on your life a little bit for me. You know, your love life especially, focus on that just for a moment. Okay, so, wow. Okay, one of the first things that I'm seeing here, this is dealing with your present position, and yes, this is dealing with your personal life in general, too, because it seems like a lot of your personal life is clouded right now. Like every other aspect of your life right now, you're pretty much on point with. You know what you're doing. You know where you're going. You know what's happening here. But personally, it seems like you've got some really funky people in and out of your life, not just romantically, but, you know, personally, too. You're making some kind of weird choices as far as that's concerned. So I think what's happening now is you're just not choosing at all. You understand that?
Yeah.
I think that's your best bet right now is just, you know, keep the walls up. You got some really weird people around you right now. And I don't think it's as much as like where you live or anything like that, as much as it is just the environment that you're dealing with right now. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's nothing that you're doing wrong or anything like that. I want you to understand that, okay?
Okay.
Now, another thing that I'm seeing here, too, is, you know, how can I even put this? Every other aspect that you're dealing with right now in your life personally, you know, you have exceeded a lot of your own expectations right now. There was a move that I think you were much happier with. There was a job change that I think you're much happier with than you expected to be, too. So, you know, you've got all this great stuff going on. So when you've got all this success, it's kind of hard to focus on some of the less successful stuff, which includes your romance right now, okay? So this is the deal there. Now, as far as your ex is concerned, this is why that person was an ex to begin with, was because, you know, you were about that progression. And even though that progression was for the good of all, I don't really think it was seen that way. I think it was seen as a loss of control.
Yeah.
And that's terrible. So I think you're better off without this one.
Okay.
I do. Now, I got to tell you, you know, my suggestion, you know, is to go out there and have some fun. You know, keep it safe, but, you know, have some fun out there because, honestly, I don't think you're going to have too much time to devote to relationship right now.
Okay.
I really don't. So, you know, go out there, you know, check out some prospects, do what you got to do. But, you know, you're going to be a busy girl this year. A lot of your patience is going to be played out this year. Like, I think you're going to be finally benefiting a lot more of what you've sown over the past couple of years.
Okay.
So, you know, your patience is finally paying off for you. So this is good. Also, you know, your spirituality has also seemed to have been really a lot more acute, a lot more focused this year. So, you know, I think there's probably going to be a test later with that, so be ready.
Okay.
There usually is. Once you usually get another little, you know, boost spiritually, there's usually a test that comes with that. So,
yeah.
You know, but you're awesome. You're doing great right now. I'll tell you something, too. You know, you've always had a lot of strong people in your life.
Yeah.
And, you know, I understand that 110%, and I understand that a lot of that strength has reflected on you, too, which is great. That's great, all right? But the big thing you have to understand is you need to learn to use that strength for yourself, not just against others.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Because that's going to help you more than anything else in this world, Dom. Remember that. Use that strength for yourself, not just against others, but for yourself, okay?
Okay.
You do this. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to let you go, Heather. We're running out of time here. But, again, please feel free to give us a call again. And, of course, you know, if you're ever ready for a private reading, you guys can just go through my website, yeah?
Okay.
All right. Heather, thank thank you so much, all the way from Indiana. I want to, wish you a Happy New Year, and, of course, God bless you and your entire family.
You too.
Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, folks, we've got 4 minutes left. Let me go ahead and put out these prophecies for 2009. One of the first things that I'm seeing here, many earthquakes this year throughout the world, folks, in 2009. I see at least two here in North America. I see two in Southeast Asia, and I see one in the Middle East. So be ready for that. Also, more bad crops are seen this year with famine to follow overseas. Definitely see that. Also, October, this coming year, I do see a particular catastrophic event coming this October, so be ready for that. Also, the economy will not get much better this year as more companies are going to be asking for help. This year, a nuclear conflict on the horizon. Many nations begin taking sides this year, folks. Also, a newfound rise of communism in Russia. So it looks like Russia is going to go back with communism. Also, a possible cause and maybe preventative of autism will be found this year. So see something good this year, finally, folks. And the last one is a large-scale UFO event this year with hundreds of witnesses. Remember this, folks, a UFO this year. Now, the last thing, I got to mention this really quickly, folks. I need your help. I need your help to save an innocent man's life. His name is Larry Swearingen. He's scheduled to be executed on January 27th this month, folks, by the state of Texas, despite the fact that he didn't kill anybody. Folks, you know the story. I had a vision of this guy. I don't think he did it. I need your help. Go to my website, click on the link, sign the petition. We've got just a couple weeks before he's executed. I'm really hoping we can do something about it. Folks, my time is up. Stay tuned for the Sports Maniacs. We'll catch you all next week. I love you all like family. You know this. God bless. We'll see you next week.